There's the throat pillars we all have. What, you don't have those?
I don't. That's why I have to...
You don't have, 12 uvulas?
No, and they're not all bopping around like that, either. I only have one, unfortunately. I got scammed.
Live from Austin, Texas with serious fun. It's Retro Pals with Danny and Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Danny. I am ready for serious fun. And I'm ready for serious... oh, look at the emotes I'm seeing. Serious bums.
Yeah, that's what it is. Normally, we like to have fun around here, but tonight I want to get serious. Mm-hmm. Any fun you have tonight, make sure it's serious. Mm-hmm. Before you have fun, consider, is this serious fun or not? If it's not serious, then maybe you should make it serious. I think that'll improve your viewing experience.
If there's one thing you need to learn from the Retro Pals is that you need to take video games extremely seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Before the stream, we got raids from Hexagon Witch and Bill Bull. Thank you, Bill and Hexagon Witch, for the raids. I appreciate it. For those of you who came in, oh my god, do I have a story for you. You're about to see that over the next couple hours, though. Alex, why don't you thank some folks?
I want to thank Sepside19 for the 50 bits. Welcome.
Welcome, Sepside.
Thank you, Orange Right, 33-month resub, just passing by the sun on my way to Retro Pals. Thank you.
Love that donk theme. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneaker Nets, for the 60-month resub. 5 years. What the hell, indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, the math checks out. Wow.
Wow,
Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanaki Amano, for the 43-month resub. Don't try to weasel out of Faces of Evil, pals. We won't.
Oh, no. I'm still obligated to do that for charity, so I have extra reason to feel guilty about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaboom, for the 8 months. Calling out from Scatland. Calling out from Scatman's world.
My favorite Scatman John song. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneaker Nets, for gifting a sub to Jordan Mallory. Welcome to Sub Club, Jordan.
Thank you for the gift, Sneaker Nets.
Thank you, Kaboom, for the 80 bits. Thank you. And thank you, Punch MSX, 4-month resub. Damn it, somebody made the Scatman John joke. Yeah, sorry.
It's a good community if someone beat you to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chubo. 32-month resub. Always love the dumpy. Thank you.
Whoa, the gift sub thing puts a nice big box over our faces. That's cool.
I like that. Thank you, Kaboom, for the 100 bits as well. Thank you. 62-month resub. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bill Bull with the whole year resub. That's a whole year. Yeah.
That's an entire year. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Mooer, for gifting a sub, and thank you, Shax, for gifting 5 whole subs to the community. Holy shit, thank you.
Holy crap, Mooer, thank you, and Shaxpert, thank you.
Thank you, Cartman, for the 100 bits. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, happy Juneteenth, everybody.
It is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Celebration. And thank you, Fire Mountain, for the 46-month resub. Conundrum. Is serious fun still fun if it's too serious? It is.
This is a philosophical debate. We'll be having it. As long as you have fun and you're serious about it, you're welcome to participate in the lively debate.
The lively debate.
It's going to be lively. Neo Zero, thank you for the 100 bits. And Celltabe, thank you for the 100 bits. All aboard the hype train, everyone. I don't know if we're getting Gritty Goose, but if you haven't gotten him yet,
I hope good luck. Get Gritty Goose.
I freaking love Gritty Goose. Oh man, it's at level 5, so maybe there will be a Gritty Goose given out tonight.
Oh, I hope we see Gritty Goose. That's my dream.
Willing. Okay, so let's get back on this train. We took a week off last week. I have to remember how to stream. What we do here on Retro Pals is we do these weekly Wednesday showcase streams based on what our patrons vote to see. And this week, this is how they voted. The theme was good games for once. Usually we cover the lesser known games, the kind of bad ones, but this time the theme was good games. And Natsume ended up winning over an exclusive, lengthy 2-week poll. So thank you everyone for voting the way you did. There's a secret theme, however, to this. It's not just good games. Both the companies that were up for vote were Konami spin-offs. These were studios started up by developers who worked at Konami, and they were like, we don't need this company, we can do this ourselves and kick ass at it, and they did. So this is the story of one of those companies, Natsume. It's Technostasy since 1987.
It is. Thank you real quick, Al Pennington, for the 1-year sub. I need that goose. Thank you, Hexagon Witch, gifting a sub to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Natsume. It's technostasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their classic catchphrase, which for some reason didn't catch on. Later on, they changed it to serious fun, which is more widely recognized, I think. Right off the bat, I want to link you to my current obsession, this thing I've been binge watching on YouTube for the last month or so. It's a series called Famidaily. It's run by a guy called RndStranger, and it covers every single game released for the Famicom in detail with regard to how the games were received in Japan, their overall place in the Famicom pantheon, how they relate to video game history. I freaking love this series. The most amazing thing about it is that he completed it. This is a 1,000 episode series.
What?
And I'm up to episode like 700 or so, and I think it's going to be pretty good to the end. I don't think this one's going to drop off in quality, so highly recommend that. Also want to link you to a playlist I made of those episodes featuring all the games we're going to play today. So if you want to know more about these games, check out this handy playlist featuring all of those games. I mentioned this up front because a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight I originally found out on Famidaily before researching the sources he used to find out for myself. But I just want to give credit where it's due, and I want to give this guy more views because it's kind of amazing. Right now, he's working through the Famicom Disk System library, which is also a great thing to
That
look
is
through.
interesting stuff, yeah.
Okay, Natsume. They broke off from Konami in 1987, started making some Famicom games, and then they released some games for the NES. If you've ever played platformers like Shadow of the Ninja or Shatterhand, you may come away thinking, wait a minute, this is like a million times better than all the other shovelware, crapware games that they keep putting out for the NES. Often these games that you see on shelves, they're just kind of, you don't know what you're going to get. You're just buying based on the cover art. But if you link those two games together, you may have found a common name, that being Natsume. And you may think, well, if I like action platformers, maybe I want to check out more. Maybe there's some that I haven't heard of. Maybe I want to research and see what those are. Tonight, I'm going to tell you how to do that kind of research, and I'm going to walk you through the stuff that I did to find these games, and I'm going to tell you how to do it for your own area of interest as well. So,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what I hope to do tonight. You start with a Moby game search. You just type in Natsume in this case. You cross-reference that with the lists on GameFAQs and Wikipedia, and when you have some consistent data, you make a big list. And if you want to stop at the US releases, that is the stuff that was filtered through publishers and eventually got localized stateside, you can have a great time just by looking at all the Natsume games they released here in the States. So for now, let's go with that pared back list. Let's see what games Natsume developed that actually did get released in the United States. Starting with their first game, a little game called Dungeon Magic.
Oh, Dungeon Magic, huh? I don't know why I sounded like I was injured.
Oh,
there. Oh,
Dungeon Magic.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
Also one of their early partnerships with Taito. That would kind of become a big deal for them. Them and Taito were like peanut butter and jelly and chocolate. Well, without the jelly. I don't think I've seen this intro. Look at this.
I haven't either. You know, I don't think I've ever even played this game.
The one thing to look for in Natsume games is, strangely, a Konami-like quality to the visuals and the presentation quality. Often in these games, you see some good graphics, some nice sound effects. If you're punching people, it feels good to punch people. That's what I think of when I think of Natsume, the games where it feels really good to punch people.
The game with good punches.
Thanks for the hype train.
Thank you, everybody.
Hope you got some good emotes out of that.
Any goose? Any
There's a
geese?
saying handed down in Granville: 5 become 1, 1 becomes 5? What the... That seems pretty specific to one person. Are we sure that's me?
No, it's you.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, it looks like the Gritty Goose did not make it, but
Damn.
we got some other good
You made it
stuff.
sound like Gritty Goose died. Gritty Goose didn't make it. Sorry, everyone. So
He
already-
gritty too hard, and it just got him.
Already you see their dedication to quality with this extremely elaborate intro, which has some really nice art. It makes you kind of curious about the game's world. This isn't something you'd see in every NES game. This is the product of someone who gave a shit. Woe to all who oppose me. Let's start the game.
Okay.
Woe be unto all who watches Retro Pals tonight. I haven't played much this game, so I'm not going to get very far. But what this is a wizardry-style game.
Oh, hey.
A wizardry-style game that's specifically inspired by Dungeon Master, which was popular around that time.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of combines dungeon crawling with typical JRPG stuff like talking to people, so you can actually see townspeople on the map itself as you traverse. Is there no music? I don't think there is. Oh, it's nice that we knock on the doors.
I do like the little knock.
Sure. Sounds great. That's it? Okay.
Okay.
No, like, test or trial or anything? It's just you're teaching this to anyone? That's nice. Oh, I see. There was a bunch of other people here, and we opted out of all the other covenants by taking the wind magic. Okay. So for 1989, especially in the US, this game's kind of one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
They had the wizardry ports, of course, but this game, which adds on to the formula and looks really, really good doing it, I think this would have made a big splash among people who were looking for this kind of game in 1989. I've also heard this game is freaking impossible. Like, you get out into the games world and you just get slaughtered instantly. It's one of those games where you have to, like, grind a whole bunch.
I like the art of them rejecting you, like they're turning down a big meal, like, oh, I couldn't have it.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. No, thank you. I shall have no more apprentices today. I just like the NPCs out on the map where you can talk to them. Makes it seem like more of a world than just a straightforward dungeon. All right, here we are. Sure would be a shame if something came out of nowhere and killed me. Uh-oh.
Oh. Danny.
Well, guess what just happened? I got one attack in. That was the first enemy in the game.
Evil wins again.
Evil
What can
wins
you say?
again. What's that supposed to mean?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
All right, fair enough. Evil wins again on Retro Pals and Dungeon Magic. So, if you know of Natsume from their platformers, you may think, oh my god, this is nothing like them. But you can still see some of the DNA in this. Some of the, as I said before, give-a-shitness that they had for all the games they developed. So that was 1989. Let's move on to the next year, 1990. This is a game more people may be familiar with. It's a game called Abadox. Alex, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to thank Alhim Magambo for the 100-bit donation. Thank you. And thank you, Room Temperature, 19-month resub. Natsume, but I hardly know me. St. Asper, thank you. St. Aspertine, 40-month resub. Keep your amazing penguins. I'm here for the scat.
Oh my god, that's filthy, but it is in
normal,
context.
It's true.
But thank you.
And thank you, Room Temperature, 25-bit donation. Thank you. Wait, is it only magic that can only be done in dungeons, or magic done by dungeons? It is magic done in dungeons.
We'll never know. I took one step outside and died.
Yeah, so I guess you can't use magic outside the dungeon.
So people noticed this was published by Milton Bradley, the board game company, the toy maker.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had a division for the NES where they just commissioned games or localized games that were released for the Famicom, and they just brought them over for a new audience. In this case, this is more of a safe bet than an RPG or an adventure game or something. It's a shoot 'em up. A really gross one, actually. Look at this planet we're going into.
Ooh. The planet's gonna eat you.
Can we not go into the Teeth and Mouse planet?
No.
Can we just go somewhere nice?
Can we not go to the Guts planet?
We gotta do it. So now you're seeing some of that Konami influence shine through.
I was gonna say, this is very Konami.
Yeah, I always, whenever a game has really nice drums in it, I think Konami. But this is a game that pushes a lot of sprites on the screen. The action is really nice and fluid, doesn't slow down or anything. And it promises a disgusting guts shooter, and man, it delivers from frame one. Look at that, look at the ground we're flying over.
I do love the Guts ground, all intertwined and shit.
Mm-hmm. I think that gave this game kind of a unique selling point from all the other spaceship shooters. It's like, it's not just a space shooter, it's also gross as hell. Which, for some kids, they were all in on that.
Kids like gross stuff.
Kids love gross stuff. They want to go to the Guts planet. They want to live there. Who played this one? Do you like it? I've never played much of it. I think it's really hard, but I've only ever played a few minutes of it at a time. Also gotta say, for 1990, this isn't exactly ahead of the curve, but it's not behind the curve either. This is a pretty nice looking game for 1990 on the NES. Without using any of the extra expensive chips like the MMC5 or whatever. Freaking, I'm bad at this.
Sorry that you can't Abadox.
I'm so bad at Abadox. Hey, wait a minute. You can't do that. That's directly lifting the Konami pause jingle. I'd never noticed that before.
Don't worry about it.
Can I enable invincibility? Give me complete invincibility, please. That's more like it.
There you go.
Maybe we can actually get somewhere now. So eventually, it's revealed that the alien planet is in fact a living, breathing alien, and you're going through its body. This might have been good for our American Heart Association showcase a couple weeks ago.
Actually.
It's kind of less scientifically accurate than the other games we played. Not to say that those were scientifically accurate. That's right, we're gonna cheat. Just because I wanted to show off more than 5 seconds of this game. Now you pick this up off the shelf. You see a game from Milton Bradley. If you played any of other Milton Bradley's games, which were stuff like Captain Skyhawk and freaking... They made Time Lord, didn't they? Often those were just like really low-rent, Rare developed games that Rare obviously didn't give a shit about and just kind of pumped out quickly. Meanwhile, you got this, which really dedicates itself to an aesthetic and actually pulls it off really well. I'm gonna shoot this Guts dog until it dies.
Okay. Not a fan. Okay.
Yeah, we did it.
Nice.
Take that,
Rip
Guts dog.
Guts dog.
Oh boy. Time to go in here. It's not looking any better in here.
I see a lot of... I suppose these are nerve endings or whatnot. That's not good.
I'm starting to see the primary influence of this game, and I'm shocked I didn't see it before. This is very clearly a take on Konami's Life Force, aka Salamander.
Oh, yeah!
It has these exact same tooth enemies in the first level. Not to mention the freaking Konami sound effect. Is that a tongue?
Yeah, do you... Oh, I can't see you like it.
I don't like it.
I figured it's wet, too! There's saliva dripping.
There's the throat pillars we all have. What, you don't have those?
I don't. That's why I have to...
You don't have, like, 12 uvulas?
No, and they're not all bopping around like that, either. I only have one, unfortunately. I got scammed.
So if you're searching through a library trying to find stuff, this might be an early surprise that you might like, if you're only familiar with stuff like Shatterhand and Power Blade, they're platformers. You may be thinking at this point, man, these guys, they're pretty good at multiple genres. They kind of know their stuff. You may be getting a little more interested, want to dive a little bit deeper. And not to spoil it too much, but man, the deeper dive you go on Natsume, the more rewarding it is, in my opinion. This stream, it will go places. Even beyond the Guts monster game. Oh yeah, and there's vertical sections. It's just freaking
Ew,
Salamander!
It's pulsating now, Danny.
This is just
Stop
Life
it.
Force.
Get it to stop. It's injured.
Okay.
It's sick. Oh.
Alright, Alex, the next game that was released in 1990 may be more your speed. It's a game called Palamedes.
Palamedes. Hey, he's over there.
He's over there because... Hot B.
Hot B. Oh, I know this game, actually.
This episode of Retro Pals is going to be like a reunion of sorts for all these bizarre-ass publishers we've covered before, like Toachiki and Hot B and stuff. You know anything about Palamedes?
I think I've played it before.
This is a game where you have to make poker hands using the dice that you eliminate from above. So, like, we're going to have a pair of ones, going to have a pair of twos, and then a pair of fours, and we cash that in, and it deletes the lines.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you Palamedes. Are there any questions?
Why dice?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
You can also go for more complex hands, like, let's do a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5, and a 6, and we can cash that in.
Oh.
The game really likes that.
Okay. I see what's going on here.
So nothing too complex, but kind of an interesting design for a puzzle game. And one that's not just Tetris, as many of them were back then.
Yeah, I do respect the originality, since so many of these games at the time were just straight up Tetris, or, you know.
Mm-hmm. It was real easy to do. Just make something that vaguely resembled Tetris, and you got those dollars.
Okay, everyone's talking about the box art. Let me see.
Yeah, check out that box art.
Oh!
You'd have to get past the box art before buying the game, but if you could, if you somehow could get past that box art.
No, I can't. No.
What about this? It gets faster, and it's harder to keep up with the speed and stuff. Not my favorite puzzle game, but it is unique. It's doing something different, and it's got that Natsume quality to it. Is this anything? This isn't anything. I can't cash these in.
I was going to say that Palamedes box was more disgusting than anything in Abaddon.
True. Oh, this is a real nasty finish, but we'll make do. Us country girls make do.
Keep saying that.
It's a mantra, Alex. Try having one. And to finish up 1990, Natsume released one final game called Shadow of the Ninja. Thank you for the bonk. This one, I bet a few of you have heard of. If you've played this, let me know. You probably think it's pretty good.
I think I know this.
Wow, a future date that hasn't already passed in an NES game. It's 2029. We still got a few years to go. And yeah, in a couple of months, in August, they're releasing a fully fledged remake of this for PS4 and Switch. It's from the same team who made the Wild Guns and Ninja Warriors remakes. So I'm buying that shit day one.
I was gonna say, so it's good.
Those are two of my favorite games that have been released over the last few years. Those guys, they know what they're doing. And it's many of the same people who made the original games, too. They are called...
What are they?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They're called the Shadow of the Ninja, I guess. This has a 2-player mode, but I'm not going to ask Alex to play this because the first level has a lot of flashing in it.
Oh, thank you.
But this will give you an early idea of what a Natsume-developed platformer looks like. Real fast, real fluid, and like I mentioned before, it feels really good to beat up on guys.
Man, you're really getting them.
This game, man, it feels really good to play this, and the NES has no shortage of ninja platformers. There's good ones like Ninja Gaiden, and less good ones like Ninja Crusaders. And I would say this is like top tier. This is right up there with Ninja Gaiden, in my opinion.
Sorry, I like the way you got that guy in the back when he was looking for you.
It's got a bunch of weapons in it. All the weapons are taken from an IRIM game called Ninja Spirit. I guess these are actual ninja weapons, so they can't really claim to be ripping off.
Yeah, you can't really copyright Ninja, I assume.
You can't have a game where a ninja wields a Kusarigama. We invented that. Except we didn't. Oops. Ninjas actually did that. That's the sword and chain thing we got going on here.
Oh.
But yeah, really pay attention to the graphics and the sounds and how the two intersect. Like when you punch a guy, it makes a nice punchy feedback sound. These are games that just feel good to play. It has that good game feel that you know and love. And normally you'd only get that from something like a Konami or a Capcom game, but here's Natsume, just out here publishing their own game. I think this was self-published in the US even. They knew what they had. For 1990 especially, this looks great. I'd never gotten into this much before putting together this stream, but the people are... what they say is true. This is a good one. Even if I suck at it. Ninjas are weak against football players, did you know?
I didn't know that, but it does make sense.
This guy's just pushing me around.
Sorry, I know that most football players could probably win in a fight against a ninja, but I'm just imagining John Madden just absolutely failing. Okay, maybe ninjas are stronger than football players. That seems very...
Place your bets on football players versus ninjas.
That's the worst.
We'll have a full competition afterwards. We'll consult with actual ninjas and actual football players. So that's Natsume up through 1990. They only made 4 games over the last 2 years, but if you're into dungeon crawlers, you'd really like Dungeon Magic. If you're into puzzlers, you might want to check out Palamedes. And especially if you're into platformers, you want to check this game out. And man, I want that remake. I want it to be out now. I want to be playing that shit. I'm dying to see how that company produces a platformer in the modern era. Like, will it be the best game ever made? Probably. Anyway. 1991. New year, new games.
New
And
games.
what do they got? Well, Alex, they're bringing out AD&D Heroes of the Lands.
Huh. Okay.
If that name sounds familiar, you may have seen this game before on many worst of NES games lists. Lots of people in the 2000s and 2010s made their internet careers dunking on shitty NES games, and this is one of them. This game has a terrible reputation in Japan, and it has an even worse reputation over here.
Looks bad. But hey, what do I know? It could still
Now
be.
check that out. This is something I didn't know until I played this. Did you see that? Game developed by US Gold. So, Natsume isn't at fault for this. In fact, this is a very good port of a very, very bad PC game. So, the result is a very, very bad NES game that was ported really well.
Okay.
They just did what they were told.
Gold Moon.
Gold Moon. Sturm.
Sturm. Riverwind.
Tannis?
Tasselhoff.
Tasselhoff! Hey, don't tassel the Hoff.
Flint. Yeah, that makes sense. Raisin.
I always thought this was just like a fluke in Natsume's catalog, but then when I saw developed by US Gold, I was like, it all makes sense. And watching the Famidaily episode confirmed that, because he was like, I had this C64 game as a kid, and it sucked ass. Oh, freaking, how do you go places? Like, you gotta hold select or something? Or start? Or like, how do you go places? There's exits at the north and south. Oh, well.
Oh, not that.
Yeah, this was number 11 on Sean Baby's list, so this was in the Sean Baby crosshairs even back then. Does anyone know how to go through the goddamn door? There's only 2 buttons on the NES pad. I'm pushing them both. Walk through. Oh, you have to hold up for 3 seconds. Okay. That's interesting. And this is the core gameplay. You go through a dungeon, and this is what combat looks like. You have a whole bunch of party members, and they all have different abilities. Some can heal, some can cast magic. But all of them suck. I kind of feel bad for Natsume in this situation, because they just did what they were told to do.
Yeah, this isn't their fault.
They were like, fully port this extremely shitty game to your NES. And they were like, are you sure? Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to hold down for like 3 seconds. That's so crazy. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention at the top of the stream. The one thing about Natsume that separates them from a lot of other developers for the NES and Famicom is they were started up as a Famicom developer.
Oh.
Like, a lot of companies, they came from arcades or computer games, or like a lot of people were just like book publishers or like software makers or whatever. But Natsume spun off specifically to make games for the Famicom, so in theory, this should be like top-of-the-line stuff specialized for one platform.
Danny, you're stabbing me.
So
that,
to
that
see-
little freak.
So to see them make games like this is kind of sad, but also I sympathize and I understand.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the bills. Whoever contracts you, you gotta fulfill that contract. It's also the most I've ever played of this game. Why are some of my guys like zombies? I guess because they're dead.
Sorry.
Oh, you can still see him there. My dude's lying there dead.
Oh, that is kind of disgusting. They're just rotting.
So if you played this back in the day, it was probably a huge disappointment. But if you played the C64 version, you may have had an even worse time. Still, gotta do what you can to pay the bills, and when the AD&D license comes calling, you're not gonna say no. Feet! Feet!
Yeah.
What else did they do in 1991, though? Let's, maybe they did something a little bit better. Maybe they made a game like Power Blade.
I love him.
Now this is a good format for an NES game. A badass dude in a tank top and shades who just beats up a bunch of dudes.
Danny, that's just classic gaming.
Mm-hmm. Stupid master computer.
Master.
People panicked. Luckily, we got Nova.
Oh my God! That's Duke Nukem. Come on.
It's just Duke Nukem. So this game is specifically modeled on Mega Man, in that you have a series of levels you can complete in any order. You get power-ups as you complete them. All these guys have real names.
I love the names. Linda Baker.
Freaking Linda Baker. We're taking you down, Martin.
Daniel Leeds.
Nice beret, but we have to take you down. Oh wait, these are our contacts.
Well,
okay,
maybe, you know, we shouldn't take them
maybe we
down.
should be nice to them before we take them down.
Thank you, Dreamhair, you're alive for the raid. Thank you so much.
Hey, welcome. Hope you had a good stream. We're playing Natsume games. We're just taking a chronological look at their NES library before digging deep into the Famicom games. Yeah, we get the idea. It's a game where you walk to the right and kill people. For the most part.
Cool.
Get the ID cards from your contacts, then take them down.
Cool boomerang.
So a badass like this guy can only take on enemies with a boomerang. Look at this walk cycle. You'd think that would take up more energy to really pump your arms like that. Like, you're going to be doing a lot of running. This is where you can clearly see the Konami influence. Just the way things scroll, the way the action proceeds. The nice boom, boom, boom as things blow up. Kind of like Contra. But it's a little more open-ended than your usual side-scroller. You're going up and down and all around.
I was gonna say, I like his run, too.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's really hoofing it.
What would you do if you saw this guy sprinting towards you with this run?
I would immediately run into a building as soon as I could.
Oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, I would be like, alright, ducking into Starbucks, okay.
This guy's looking for ID cards.
And he doesn't know that I'm the guy who's giving him the cards and not the guy he's supposed to kill. Oh, help, help!
He was only half listening during the briefing.
He's like, yeah, I'll boomerang whoever, no worries, got it.
Alright, let's take this guy down.
See, you're boomeranging that guy, but he looks like your buddy.
Yeah, that's Martin Douglas or whatever. Thanks, bro. Can we just do this? Nope.
No.
Don't try to make that jump. You can't do it. Maybe I have to backtrack to find that door.
Yeah, I'm running into a building like Bugs Bunny and leaving a Alex-shaped hole in the wall. Like, yipes!
Oh, jeez, I don't want no part of this. Hamburger! I dropped my precious hamburger.
Sorry about your hamburger.
Look at all the variety of different enemy encounters they have. Like, shit surrounds you, guys run up to you. There's a real sense of fun and adventure in this game that I really like. It's not just another slap-together platformer. Little details like the little spire there in the background. Is that like a missile?
I think so.
Now,
Yeah, I think I like Natsume.
yeah, like, their games just look fun to play. And maybe you don't have the context for this if you've only played newer games, but try looking up footage of stuff made by, say, LJN. Or some of the Rare games that they developed under subcontract that they didn't give a shit about. And you'll clearly see the difference. Okay, I know where to go now. And I gotta emphasize that those games, the LJN games, the subcontracted Rare games, those were more common than these sorts of games. If you found this at Blockbuster, you'd be like, oh my god, Finally, something that's as good as like a Mario or a Castlevania. And often, the only way you'd know about him is by reading Nintendo Power, because Nintendo had a vested interest in actually promoting good games. They'd be like, well, this LJN game has that distinctive LJN flavor, but this Power Blade game, you should play that one instead. Maybe don't buy Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Delicious hamburger. Man, this is good. Believe the hype. Power Blade is pretty freaking good.
I believe in the Power Blade hype.
I have armor now. Holy shit. Well, there goes my armor.
Sorry about your armor, honey. Now you're just some guy.
But you're making me do platforming? I guess I can platform.
I guess.
I've never played through much of this, but the few times I've played it, I've had a good time with it. I prefer something like Shatterhand, which we'll get to in just a little bit.
Okay.
But really, you can't go wrong with either of the Power Blade games.
Yeah, Shatterhand I've heard of. But this, I don't
Those are just bats from Castlevania.
They are!
Now, okay, maybe these games aren't 100% original. Maybe they knew what people liked, and what people liked were bats, I guess. Alright, 1991, things are looking up. We got a couple of good platformers. Natsume is really flexing its capabilities. It's time for some scat.
Yep.
Uh-huh. In Japan, this was known as Final Mission. In Europe, this was called Action in New York. In the United States, we get scat.
Special Cybernetic Attack Team!
I remember back then, even people were making fun of that name.
Yeah.
Even back then, people knew that scat meant shit. And maybe they were counting on that. Maybe they wanted to give the game some kind of notoriety. Plus, it's got a mustache guy grimacing really hard on the cover.
Do like that.
Man, those are some Konami drums if I've ever heard it.
Listen, we all wish the Scatman was actually in this, but unfortunately I think it's another type of guy.
I'm calling out from Scatland. Oh, if you missed it, Natsume actually is a spin-off of Konami. They were started up by developers who realized that they could just do things on their own without Konami's higher-ups interfering. It's kind of funny how that's happened multiple times over the years, that people have realized that what they believe is, fuck Konami, we can do this on our own.
You like Arnold?
I love activities on planet Earth.
Hey! Hey! You
Sigourney.
can't just call her Sigourney.
Sigourney, you say.
You can't just... You can't make the subtext text.
I have a feeling this was designed with a US audience in mind. Yeah, we've seen the movies that you've seen. We're just taking those characters and putting them in a different game. Oh, that's not good.
I don't like when that happens. In case you didn't see it, we're saying scat.
I wonder what this part looks like in the European version. Does it just say Action in New York in huge letters? I really wonder. All right, Alex, pick up that controller next to you on your left.
Oh, on my left.
Let's play some scat.
Okay. Scat buddy ba buddy ba. Oh, wow. I was actually about to do the whole thing and it was not going to be really bad, so I'm just popping it here. Okay. Hey, I know this game. Seems familiar to me.
Now in this game, you fire with B, and you rotate your little dealy bobs with A, and you can lock them in place by pushing A again. So you can have them in front of you and always fire in front. Another big thing that drew people to Natsume games back then is, just like Shadow of the Ninja, this has simultaneous two-player, and in a game where so many sprites are being pushed across the screen, it never really slows down to a huge degree. There's flicker, of course, but
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I also keep things interesting by having the levels scroll in different directions. So you never are locked into extended sequences where you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You ever play this before?
No, I haven't, but it's reminding me of Forgotten Worlds?
Yeah, that's clearly what they were going after. The whole floating guy shoots a bunch of stuff genre.
Yeah, with Dealy Bobs.
Yeah. I'd argue the controls in this are better than Forgotten Worlds, though, because whereas Forgotten Worlds use like a spinner in arcades, this just lets you rotate your thingy and lock it into whatever position you want.
I died.
Are you not coming back?
I just start work.
Oh, when they meant lives, they just meant like life, and I guess you lost all your life when you got crushed.
Oh.
I love the little animated explosions with this weapon here. I'd say on NES, this is like the best you can hope for in terms of this particular genre. There's a game called Burai Fighter, which is also dude flying through space shooting stuff, but it's not quite as good. I'm also fascinated with games that had different names in every region, like not just two different names, but like they renamed it every single time they released it somewhere else. I guess we are seeing some action in New York.
We are. It's New York, and there's action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you visited New York, I bet you'd see scat.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the city's main features. New York not looking so good. Are we really trying to defend this place, or trying to take it back, I guess?
Take it back, I assume.
Oh, the background's going black. There's gonna be a big dude. Or a big machine. Yeah, there we go. Big dude. I love when NES games do that. The background suddenly turns black. Some shit's about to go down. Or some scat. I'm terrible at scat. And Alex is even worse at it.
Yeah, I'm way worse at scat than you.
So, pretty good year so far, aside from Dragonlance. Let's finish up 1991 with a game that probably most people remember. Shatterhand. This one, in Japan, was slightly different. It was called Soul Brain, and it was based on a tokusatsu series. But over here, they just stripped out the license and made the hero a guy with sunglasses and a tank top.
He is pretty cool looking.
I guess a leather jacket or something. Look at that shit.
Danny, that's sick. Yeah, Jalico and Natsume together at last.
Yeah, Jalico. It was... If you just went by publishers, you'd be like, wow, Jalico actually made a good game for once. But no, this was all Natsume. And that's why it's important to go through like a list of games that were developed by different studios, because you start to see similarities, and you start to find games that maybe you didn't know existed, but now you know that they do, and your life is better for it. My life would be better having recently discovered Shatterhand, I think.
I think Shatterhand would improve many people's lives. I've been trying to work on the Shatterhand distribution system. If you,
The SDS.
Yeah, PayPal me $20,000. I'll get you into the Shatterhand distribution system. Don't worry about it.
I'll make it so you can actually shatter your hand. I got a power-up that makes my punches even more powerful. What do I want here? The main feature of this game are these different combinations that you can get with the beta and alpha symbols at the top. Put them together in different orders and you get different bots. I got one of the shittiest ones, so that's cool. I think the one that I really wanted was like ABB. This was like BAA. But there's like a whole bunch of different kinds that all have different abilities. Pretty nice to have a robot buddy. Let's try to put together an ABB, I think.
Okay.
Ooh. Now check this out. How do you get up here? Well,
Oh!
look at that. You can interact
cool.
with the background. That's crazy.
Just like in Mario on the Super NES.
Yeah, just like the Mario.
I think Shatterhand is cooler than Mario, though.
I think so too. Mario should have shades and like not have sleeves. Does he have sleeves?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, he needs to lose the sleeves.
I've seen him sleeveless, and he did. It does. I've seen him sleeveless recently. I saw him topless.
In what context?
Screenshot from video game.
Okay.
And he didn't have that tribal tattoo anymore. I just thought.
Okay,
I'd let you
good.
know.
This? Oh yeah, this is the good one. Alright, we're all set. The one issue I have with this game, which is mentioned in the Famidaily episode as well, is these bosses take way too many hits to kill. Like, if you go in with a helper robot, that helps a lot. But often, if you go in without these, you have to punch these guys like 50 or 60 times to kill them. It ends up feeling like way too long. But, if you're well prepared, often it's just like no big deal whatsoever. So my solution is get good.
Okay.
I say this as someone who's not good at Shatterhand. Maybe I'll get good someday.
I believe in you, honey.
So far, they've really nailed it. They've nailed the fun in rocking to the right and punching dudes. And for the NES, that's really like 90% of what you needed to do to make a good game.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like this.
That's some presentation right there. I want to say the Japanese version is mostly the same, but one of these levels is reskinned to be a circus.
I like that.
Probably ties in with the Tokusatsu series somehow. I don't know. Look at that parallax back there. What are you doing, Natsume?
Nothing.
You're making all the other developers look bad. I think at this point, Milton Bradley had already given up on the NES. Probably because of the shitty Rare games that they commissioned. I'd give up after publishing Time Lord myself. Oh, there's other games. Oh, we should move on.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I was just gonna play
forever.
Shatterhand all day. All right, that's 1991, and they're at the top of their game, ready to produce just a whole bunch of bangers for the NES. And unfortunately, it's 1992, and we are already at the end of Natsume's reign on the NES.
Aww.
They're moving on to Super Nintendo, moving on to bigger and better things. But before they abandon it just yet, they got a few more games. Like this one, Sofel.
Sofel.
They've partnered with like the weirdest publishers. This Sofel is the Wall Street Kid people, the Casino Kid people.
Oh, okay.
And here they are just making like a top tier action game out of nowhere because, surprise, surprise, it's by Natsume. We ought to do a Sofel showcase. That's some wacky shit. They had that unreleased Happily Ever After game.
Oh, yeah!
Now this game is pretty cool. We covered this during our Toachiki showcase because this was one of the last games that Japanese publisher Toachiki ever released. Compared to Shatterhand, this seems a little bit behind the curve, almost like it was a game that was released in 1990 instead of 1992. And
yeah.
that's because it was. It was originally released in Japan in 1990, the same day Shadow of the Ninja came out under the name Kage in Japan. So obviously they focused more on the game they were publishing themselves instead of the game being published by Toachiki. This game looks pretty simple, pretty straightforward and basic. In fact, it's more action than platforming. There's very few pits in this game that I can remember, but there's one thing that separates it. When you fill up that meter up there, you turn into a freaking dragon.
Good game. Good game. Okay.
So that's cool. I can't really think of any other NES game that has this kind of division between shoot 'em up and action and allows you to switch between them freely. This is kind of crazy, actually. If you want to see a full playthrough, look up our Toachiki episode on YouTube. I think I did a full playthrough. I just barely missed the 1cc. And that turns what could have been a kind of average platformer into a really cool and great one. Unfortunately, this being kind of a late release for the NES, it's gotten pretty expensive. Pretty much all US NES games past 92 come at a premium. And I freaking died. But that's okay.
You did get to turn to a dragon, so yeah.
I'd have nothing to prove. I've beaten this game on stream before. But it's good. Check out Dragon Fighter for a kind of underrated NES game where you can be a freaking dragon. Also in 92, and because we can't stay away from Hanna-Barbera forever, they made a freaking Jetsons game. It feels like we play a Flintstones game like every other week here on Retro Pals.
We do a lot of Hanna-Barbera here.
But we so rarely ever see their futuristic counterpart, the Jetsons.
I think Fred Flintstone would beat the shit out of George Jetson.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
that
no
canonically
question.
that hasn't happened, but I think that would happen.
George Jetson would pull out like a remote control that's going to summon like an attack dog or something, and Fred Flintstone would just cave his head in with a club.
Yeah.
Sorry, George.
Sorry.
You know this is true. Yeah, the Super Nintendo also had a Jetsons game, but that was by a different developer and a completely different game. And I hadn't really played much of this NES one before I put together this stream. But you know what? It's actually pretty fucking awesome.
George Jetson is better than a guy who turns into a dragon. Wow. I can't disagree more. Literally, like, no. But that's okay.
So I didn't play much of this, and I don't think anyone else did either, because this is a pretty late release and pretty rare and expensive nowadays. For some reason, this was released in Japan, even though I don't think the Jetsons ever got a localized Japanese release, like the series. So no one knew who these weird characters were. And being one of the last Famicom games, they only made like 3 copies, so cartridge only runs more than $300 nowadays. I think the US version may be cheaper.
Danny, there's an episode of The Jetsons from 1980 where George inexplicably has a huge ass.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's what Chad says, and I believe him.
I believe it too.
Yeah.
I believe in George's fat ass. So you got some crate throwing, a la Rescue Rangers. You have gravity flipping, which is a thing you don't see often in NES games. That's pretty neat. George? Yeah, at this point in 92, the NES is winding down. Action platformers aren't really anything special anymore. But if you were still actively seeking out Natsume games, and you put the time into this, you'd find out it's actually pretty good. What's this duck? George?
He's making a little English pose. I don't know. Oh no!
He's trying to be a little creature.
He's trying to be a creature. He's doing a creature pose.
Fancy meeting a human after all this time. Well, see ya. Big sprites. You can hold up and throw them upwards if you want. That's a pro tip for you.
Do you think a lot of people in the Jetsons world die by falling?
Oh, constantly, probably. It's just they're never found because they're not going to explore the world below.
No, never.
That's uninhabitable. The Flintstones live down there.
And they'll cave your head in.
Yeah, they'll kill you. They don't show that during any of the episodes, but Fred, he's killed people. You just barely see anyone ever talk about this, while more people talk about the Flintstones games for NES. I see a lot more talk about those, mostly because of, Granddad and all, but maybe this game needs a unifying meme to make people interested.
I agree. Okay.
George? Did you see that?
Yeah, he was doing a...
He did a sexy little dance. No, I want to see that again. George, do your sexy little dance for us.
Come on, George.
Oh, George, your invincibility was too long.
George.
Come on, George, show us the goods. Oh, look at that. George.
George.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Come on. That is a sexy little dance. What
See,
the
it's
hell?
not just me.
No. Okay. That's...
George Jetson and his sexy little dance. Caught live on camera. So if you can find a copy of this game and you're not going to pay like $500 for it, check it out.
Yeah.
Or download the ROM, you know.
Whatever.
That's what most people are going to do. George, why are you looking at me? Is he going to pull a Sonic? He is! He's tapping his foot.
Oh, George, you sassy man. Go back to your work at the cog factory.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah.
And our final game for the NES in 1992. A familiar face comes back. It's Power Blade 2.
Oh, new pose for the man.
Nova's back. He's still got the sunglasses. He's still badass. And now it's Christmas.
It is Christmas.
What were you doing on December 24th, 2020? Merry Xmas, Mr. President.
Being attacked by this guy at the Delta Foundation. Okay, got a new fighting robot.
They got the bongo drums in this one. I love NES bongos. Yeah, this is Die Hard. You realize, of course, the cyborg would be a threat to the security of our nation.
Sold to foreign
It sure would be a shame if someone sold it to a foreign country. Wow.
You cover for the 100 bits. Power Blade, prepare to die hard.
Thank you for the bits.
Thank you.
And after considering the guy's offer, they just call up Nova.
But yeah, fine.
They call
Nova.
up Duke Nukem and they say, fix it.
Nova's like, okay.
Is that the same drawing from the first game? Where he stands boobfully?
Yeah, I think it is.
That's a word, right?
It is now.
Okay. I like to stand boobfully. He breasted boobily. So, if you played Power Blade 1, this is pretty much what you'd expect. But it's been amped up a little bit. The graphics are way more detailed.
Okay.
The backgrounds are just like, they have a really nice detailed grungy look to them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And also, this game is freaking hard. I want to say Dot played this for Platformageddon, and she didn't make it look too hard, but then again, she's cracked at these kinds of games. And when I tried to play it, I was just like annihilated. So your mileage may vary. Oh yeah, you can slide in this one. Like a certain Mega Man. Who needs Mega Man?
I don't. I just need Power Blade and his beautiful boomerangs.
Man, this plays really nicely. At this point, they've been making a shit ton of these games, so you expect these games to play really snappily, but just like many Natsume games, this is a pleasure to play and be beaten down by. Shit!
You jumped right into those spikes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did. That was my fault. So, based on what you've seen, what's your take on Natsume's NES library, specifically?
It's great. It's got something for everyone. A lot of good action. Got puzzle games. They look really good, aside from one little stinker. Most of them are great.
Little stinker.
It's a little stinker, you know, a little bit. It doesn't have to be great. It's just, you know.
If anything, they didn't get to, like, really flex their ability to produce a variety of different games. Like, they obviously excelled in platformers, but Dungeon Magic showed that they could do a pretty good first-person maze game. Palamedes was a decent puzzle game that wasn't just Tetris. You got the feeling that maybe there was a little bit more to the Natsume catalog than what was filtered through and released in the United States. Because often, like, the weirder stuff just didn't translate to a US audience, or publishers didn't feel like taking a risk on it, more likely. I wonder if there's a way we can check out their Japanese library.
Is there?
There is.
Ooh.
So I recommend, if you're going to go deep diving on developer or publisher-specific libraries, just download a full set of NES ROMs. Get the whole set. It's like less than a gig. Get the Super Nintendo and Genesis libraries, too, if that's your area of interest.
Okay, I will.
Again, just make a list of games that you comb through at Moby Games and Wikipedia and GameFAQs or whatever, and play them yourself. That's my recommendation. Quit watching YouTube assholes like me and actually play these games yourself, because the process of discovery, I think, is often a part of the fun. And that's what I experienced when going through the Famicom library. It was such an unexpected journey that I wanted to kind of share that a little bit tonight. So I guess I should stop playing this really fun game.
Yeah, sorry.
And move on to the meat and potatoes of the stream. Alright, Natsume. Technostasy since 1987. We didn't get any games from them in 1987. That's because the first couple of games were Japanese exclusive.
Oh.
So let's have a look at some of those. We start in 1988. My god. I don't know how to start this one, so we'll just load the game.
Okay.
The first game they ever released for the Famicom was Toho Kenbun Roku.
Oh, I love the Roku.
And there they are. There's their name front and center. Now, I'm going to put myself in the shoes of someone just kind of casually researching this library.
Okay.
They'd be like, I want a platformer. I want more games where you're a dude with sunglasses punching people. And you may load up this game, and the first thing you see is, oh my god, it's a fucking text-based adventure game. And I wouldn't fault you for just turning the game off after playing it for like 30 seconds. That's, if you want to play what you want to play, right?
Yeah,
I don't expect you to really get this thing that's in a different language, and it's really, really difficult for people outside Japan to comprehend. Also, no fan translation for this one, and there's probably not going to be one, which is a real shame because apparently this game is infamous in Japan. This is the kind of game where if you mention it to a certain kind of gamer and they played it as a kid, they're just like, oh my god, that game. They get like a faraway look in their eyes, like they lived through a war or some shit. This is that kind of game. So let's play just a little bit of it before I go into what really makes this special.
Yeah, what's with that beeping? I love it.
It's got a neat soundscape, this game, and the character graphics are kind of amazing. The artist for this did a great job, especially with stuff you see later on.
It's like beeping jazz. I love it.
And I think more than any other game we're going to see tonight, this exemplifies the fun you can have in really diving deep. Instead of just writing the game off instantly because you can't understand it, just really diving into the history of it. It doesn't always pay off. Often these text-based adventure games are just another text-based adventure game. They made a lot of these. They're not really special. But with this one, Alex, why don't you bring up Marco Polo 1?
Oh.
Toho Kinbu Roku. Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Toho Kinbun Roku is the title of a novel that was released in English as The Travels of Marco Polo. So you may be thinking, oh, it's a Famicom adaptation of The Travels of Marco Polo. Nice. It's not that. It's not that. It shares the exact same title, but it's not that. You play as a college student who is majoring in time travel.
Okay.
And for your thesis, you travel back in time to verify whether the stories of Marco Polo are true. So you go with him on his journey down the Silk Road and eventually just see all the stuff that's explained in the novel. But it's not just that. It's crazed. Everything is like a twisted parody of what you'd expect. It's got a lot of bizarre non sequiturs and just like visual gags. Characters are introduced as these big like major characters in the story, and then they're just like instantly killed for comedy. That kind of thing happens throughout this game. And the thing about this game is you are an asshole. The character you play as is a complete asshole. He has no regard for the space-time continuum. He just goes back in time and kind of fucks with everything that he wants. This starts here, where he startles Marco Polo's companion so bad that he doesn't join him on the trip, and instead you join him on the trip. So already you're just like, I'm going to insert myself into history, no big deal. It's cool. I'm a college student. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Load up Marco Polo 2, if you would. The blurb on the left says that this is a psychedelic new wave adventure.
A psychedelic new wave adventure.
Which is awesome, and also a pretty good way of describing this game. I can't imagine people buying this, thinking that they were in for, like, first a Marco Polo adaptation, or accepting that it's a parody, just kind of being a little off-kilter, like a little comedy sort of thing. Man, your dude's going off. He's all like, okay. I can read some of this. So why don't you bring up Marco Polo 3?
Hey!
This game has some crazy stuff in it. The first major villain you encounter accidentally hits a figure of the Christ on the cross in the balls, and in return he gives him a rider kick and kills him instantly. The text actually calls it a rider kick too, which I think is really amusing. That's the kind of thing you can expect from this game. Just a bizarre mishmash of historical fiction and stuff that may have happened, but we don't know if it actually happened, and just bizarre zaniness that's just kind of out of nowhere. What's the next image we have? The game has an extended drug trip sequence where you take a lot of drugs and then you have to deal with like a lot of garbled dialogue and graphics as you try to figure things out as the drug trip wears off. So that's the kind of thing you can expect from this game. Why don't we link to some resources so people just don't think that I'm completely crazy about this? At some point, it's going to sound like I'm going to be just like making this up. Now, the first link there is to the Famidaily episode about this game. I recommend watching that. It's a pretty good summary. The second link, Alex is going to post in a second, is to the @wiki, which I've often called on stream. I've referred to it on stream as the Kusoge wiki.
Oh, yeah.
This chronicles a whole bunch of games that are considered kusoge or bakage, that is, stupid games. And this one has a very special detailed entry where they're just like, look, all the other stuff we covered is fucked up. This is more fucked up than the rest, and here's why. Did you paste the @wiki one?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, now for where this thing takes a turn. The last chapter of this game, you finally successfully guide Marco Polo to his destination. Sure, you've changed a bunch of history and like just been a complete turd. Like half the solutions to the puzzles in this game are to punch something or someone. Like that's what you do. You just punch something and then the story progresses. So you're at the end of the story. Marco Polo's there. And you meet a guy who seems to be like a king or something. He's like, wow, welcome, Marco Polo. Why don't we go on a boat trip? It's going to be nice. It's going to be chill. This turns out to be the boat trip of the Mongol invasion of Japan.
Oh.
Why don't you load up that next image? Marco, 4, I think.
5, I think. Yeah. Uh-oh.
You find out that the supposed kamikaze that protected Japan against the Mongol invasion, that is a pair of typhoons, it didn't happen. So your dude opens up a time portal and says, come on, give me a kamikaze. You end up summoning the kamikaze fighter pilots from World War II.
Oh.
Who comes down, destroys the Mongol invasion, and just shoots the shit out of Marco Polo, killing him instantly.
Uh-oh.
At that point, you're all like, it's fine. I mean, I prevented the invasion. There was a kamikaze involved. Like, no big deal, right? You go back to Japan, and everything is twisted and fucked up because you've altered the course of history. You get thrown into a jail for time criminals, where you go insane and die. And, Alex, look at this. Long ago, people discovered there was alternate graphics in the ROM for that scene, where in the final version, he just disappears. He, blinks and disappears. There was a alternate graphics that shows a very gory exploding head that you see here.
Yeah. Huh.
And for a long time, people thought, oh, that was just, I don't know, maybe enabled via a button code, maybe some kind of debug thing, or just the developers blowing off steam. But then, why don't you post that final link? Someone found a prototype cartridge, and they discovered that, yes, in fact, that scene was in the prototype. And in documenting it, the guy posted on Twitter being like, yeah, the really gory exploding brain and eyeball scene, that's the tip of the iceberg. This game's fucked up. The original script was full of, profanity and slurs, and, there was a whole bunch of nudity, and, all the characters that they're parodying in the final version that had, their names altered, they're just the original names of the celebrities, and they have original products in there that they make fun of. It's just, an extremely crazy, off-kilter game that, even though, as it was released, is super nuts, it was almost even more insane. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
And the sudden shift in tone in the game is what got a lot of kids. They play through this really lighthearted, goofy game, and then suddenly at the end, you've changed history and everything's fucked up, and it gets really serious and edgy before your character goes insane and dies. So it was kind of like, You know how that one DuckTales broadcast that was interrupted by the death of the Prime Minister or whatever in like Romania or something?
Yeah.
The people who experienced this back in the day were genuinely traumatized by it. They look back on it and they're like, "Oh, it's fucked up. There's never been another game like this. Holy shit." And apparently that prototype has even more fucked up stuff than the discoverer of the prototype revealed, because he was all like, "Look, I'm going to document the nudity and the slurs and everything, but there's stuff in here I find morally reprehensible myself, so I can't share that."
Oh.
So who even knows? Who even knows what was in the prototype of Toho Kinbun Roku? Even though the final version was so fucked up, it traumatized a generation of kids.
Huh.
And that's how my exploration of Natsume's Japanese library started. And I don't know what to make of that. Like, where do you go from that?
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going to break off from Konami. And I thought I knew the story. Like, oh, they wanted to make platformers. They wanted to make games where you go around punching dudes. No, the first thing they made was this. They tried to push the boundaries so hard that Nintendo probably saw that. I wish I could have seen the Nintendo, like, standards and ethics guy evaluate this game.
His eyeballs popping out of his head, rolling down the street. Yeah.
Being like, look, the exploding head is the least of your problems. You need to change this. And so that is how Natsume's journey in the Japanese Famicom library started. Completely different than what I would have expected, and something you'd only find out if you really dug into the history of it. And in this case, I'm really, really glad I did. Alex, why don't you mute the music for this next one?
Yeah.
The next game they published for the Famicom is a game we covered as part of our Toachiki showcase. This one's a little more normal. Idle Hakenden. This one's also based on a novel, the Eight Dog Chronicle, I think it's called, about a bunch of misfit warriors or whatever. And here they extrapolate that story into being like modern-day pop idols. So you're trying to become a pop idol, and you join up with your weirdo friends to try to defeat the evil idols or whatever. Unfortunately, this game's soundtrack recently got a re-release, and it will get you muted or copyright struck
No.
if you play it. So, unfortunately, this segment's going to have to be muted.
Boo.
However, there is an English translation for this one, and we played a little bit of it, and I fucking loved it. This game's charming as hell. It's cute and adorable and endearing in the same way that Toho Kinbun Roku is apparently morally reprehensible. So how could you release two games in the same genre and just be like completely diametrically opposed? One for true sickos, one for people who are more used to like the PC-98 library, and then another game for little girls who want to be pop idols.
Yeah, this is normal comparatively.
I freaking love Idle Hakenden. We're going to do a full playthrough one of these days. Copyright strikes be damned.
Nice.
It's this intro song that'll get you copyright struck in particular, which is a shame because it goes along to the music and it looks really good. So, Alex, which are you? Are you an Idle Hakenden sicko, or are you a Toho Kinbun Roku sicko?
I think I'm unfortunately a Toho freaky deaky.
Yeah, there's just something about it that's like intriguing, and like it only became more fascinating after that prototype was discovered. Also, why was that their first game? You split off from Konami, and the first thing you do is try to push every single boundary possible. But then I guess they dialed it back with this, which is nice. This is the duality of Natsume.
Sure is.
We're going to play more of this someday. That's a promise.
Okay.
Eventually, one day, we will play this. So, Japan, 1989. What other exclusives did they release? How about Chugoku Janshi Story Tonpu?
Tonpu, huh?
You can turn the music back on for this.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Is this Ninja?
No.
Sorry, I shouldn't assume.
It's not Ninja.
Is this...
It's Mahjong.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought it was gambling, but Mahjong is gambling, okay.
Yeah, even Natsume is not immune to the Mahjong bug. Like, these games were easy to produce, cheap to make, you could crank them out really quick, and for a time they would even be profitable, so that's why Natsume made one. Oh, it's got voices. And he's already reaching. What kind of hand do I got here?
You might say this hand is a reach.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I got to do it once.
The Jester would love Toho Kenbunroku.
It's a very sick game, yes.
Oh, can we make this work? What's more likely to drop? Probably like this one. Oop, I wasn't ready to reach just yet.
Oh yeah, these tiles look delicious.
Okay, now I'm ready to reach. Look at that! It tells you what tiles you need to go out. Not every game does that. Oh, okay, go fuck yourself, dude. I hate when you reach and the other guy is just like, sumo. Like, get off your high horse. Who do you think you are?
I do wish there were ice cream sandwiches that look like mahjong tiles.
A smart company would make those.
I'd eat them.
Maybe someday. Alright, 89, we got Idol Hakenden, Chugo Roku Janshi Story, and in the most out-of-left-field release possible...
Ninja game?
Quarterback Scramble.
Oh, again, the ninja's natural enemy.
Yeah. American football game, Quarterback Scramble. Only released in Japan, though this was scheduled for US release under the title Mike Ditka's Big Play Football. I think we've covered this one before, too. I'm gonna opt out of this one, I'm just gonna watch.
Okay. Alright, fellas. Go get them.
Alright, Alex, who are we? The Denver Miles, the LA Arcs, the Washington, D.C. Hogs?
I think we were the Hogs last time.
I think we gotta be the Hogs. Hogs versus the Denver Miles.
Good guy.
This game, I'm pretty sure, was developed entirely banking on a US release, which is kind of a shame that it didn't happen because there was almost no following for US football back in Japan back then. I do think this came right before Tecmo Bowl, though, so this was like, at least it was a first on the Famicom. Not that anyone was ready for it, or bought it, or enjoyed it. But maybe in an alternate history, maybe in the twisted history from Toho Kenbunroku, Japan was really into American football. Like the eyeball field.
Yeah, that's the FCI logo.
Could have gone with baseball. Baseball was big back then. Everyone was making a baseball game. Poor RndStranger, the guy who made Famidaily, like 10% of the episodes are baseball games. And he still manages to find something interesting to say about every one of them. I don't know how he does it. Also, speaking as someone who attempted a chrono gaming series for the PlayStation, it is absolutely crazy that not only did he start the project, but he finished it. He made every single episode for every single game. That thing happens, it happens so rarely. Often what'll happen is you'll start to get better at video making, and you start to want to go into more detail, and the episodes take a million years to produce.
Yeah.
And they start having you know, the results just don't match up to the effort you're putting in.
Yeah.
So it's really something special that the series actually concluded. And this is football.
Aw, they're hugging.
Aw.
They're hanging out.
They're friends.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can be football friends. Let's do one more play. Apparently no one played this in Japan, because often you would find like a little bit of discussion about even the most obscure games. Not this one.
No one is interested in Quarterback Scramble?
No one was interested in Quarterback Scramble. This was purely to be a US release, and it just didn't happen. I think it was through FCI even. Pony Canyon, who we also did a showcase about.
That would explain the logo.
Yeah? Oh.
Aw. We're hanging.
Just hanging. Having a good time at the football field. What's with the ref? He's too blobby.
He's like a rectangle. I like it.
He's very shaped. Yeah, he's very angular. Okay, that's 1989. The year is 1990. This was when they released Shadow of the Ninja, aka Kage. This is when they released Dragon Fighter in Japan. And they had a couple of exclusives that didn't make it outside of Japan. Let's look at one of them. Power Blazer. And before you correct me, hang on. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
This game is going to look mighty familiar to you.
Hey, wait a minute.
Often people say this is just the Japanese version of Power Blade. It just has different character graphics. No, it is a completely different game. A completely different and much, much worse game, unfortunately. All the level layouts are different. The gameplay mechanics are different. It shares the basic controls and like the HUD, I guess, but for whatever reason, when they made Power Blade, they just made it from the ground up using the same basic structure. It's kind of crazy to me. I can't think of any other NES game where that happened to that extent. Usually they just like change a couple of graphics or make it a little easier or a little harder. But for this one, they went the extra mile and made a completely new game, and I think that was the right choice, because Power Blade is way, way better than Power Blazer. Enemies take a shit ton of hits in this one. You can just take a ton of damage without really having any kind of recourse. This is a frustrating game. Which is unfortunate, because I kind of like how the guy looks. He's very stumpy.
I love his body.
And this makes it a much more obvious riff on Mega Man than Power Blade was. Because you're just a little stumpy dude.
You're just a guy.
Still, if you liked Power Blade, you should check this one out, because it is completely different. And it'll give you a new perspective on what Power Blade was, and maybe give you more respect for it even. Like, wow, they put in way more work on that than I thought they did. I think it's better with Duke Nukem, though. This little guy, I don't think he would have had the same appeal in the States as Duke Nukem.
No, I don't think so either. We like him more masculine, more manly.
Yeah, let's add this guy back into Power Blade.
I agree!
Natsume was apparently ashamed of this game because they did release Power Blade 2 in Japan, and they called it Captain Saber. So they didn't have any kind of link established between this game and the sequel. It also makes sense, though, because they were making so many platformers at the time. Of course, one of them is going to be a little less fleshed out than the others. And considering how Shadow of the Ninja and Dragon Fighter turned out, I can't really fault them too much for this one being the bad one of the bunch.
Yeah.
Music's okay. Can I kill this? Yeah. Anyone play this? Am I just really bad at games, or is this, like, really, really hard?
This looks impossible. I'm sorry.
It's kind of tough, especially later on. Power Blade, I think, is much more balanced to be a fun experience. Even if you really like difficult video games, this one may not be worth it.
There you go.
He's so little.
He's so tiny.
Oh, you can't even throw upwards. I just noticed that.
Oh, that's no good. Oh, I like when he ducks. That's so good. Oh, never mind.
He just folds up into himself. Alright, let's get killed by this guy.
Alright, chat says this game is really friggin' hard, so...
It is! Okay, it's not just me.
No.
Still, might be worth looking at, just as like a Power Blade prototype sort of situation. Oh, I forgot to mention this, but apparently the main character from Toho Kenbun Roku just shows up out of nowhere in one of the Metabots games. Like, as his character, he's like, "Hey, I'm from Toho Kenbun Roku. Yeah, I'm that asshole." And the few people who recognized him were like, "Oh my god, why? Why did they do this?
No.
Why'd they bring back this horrible repressed memory?" There aren't enough games that disturb people, in my opinion.
I agree.
Hey. Let's take down that space shuttle. That
Screw
space
you,
shuttle has had it
Houston.
too good for too long. Power Blazer. Not Power Blade. Totally different and totally worse. So the other Japanese exclusive that came out in 1990 was World Boxing. At this point, I didn't know what to think of Natsume. I thought I had a pretty good idea of what to expect from going deep into their Japanese library. But instead of a bunch of platformers, I'm finding just like everything.
So would you say doing a deep dive into the catalog was worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Like, maybe not from the perspective of, just finding some new platformers to enjoy, but just from appreciating the history of a company that I didn't even know. And even this, they put so much work into the graphics and things. Someday, I want to be a cool boxer.
Me too.
Let's be cool boxers together. Totally stupid software, that's what that stands for. Alright, check this shit out. In terms of other NES boxing games, we got Punch-Out, we got Ring King.
What? Hey!
And then we have this, which doesn't play anything like I've ever played on the NES. Your punches are controlled with the D-pad, weirdly enough. And you can hold B or hold A and do different directions to do different kinds of punches. What's the voice saying?
Duh. Actually, I don't know.
Buddy! It's also not very, what's the word? Playable?
Yeah, I don't know about this.
It's kind of slow, kind of stodgy. There's a weird energy meter where you have to wait to charge up the power of a punch. But the thing is, if your opponent hits you first, you lose all of your stored up energy, so you can't really play it like it wants you to. Body.
Sound like he's saying stomach. Which I wish people during boxing matches would shout, just like different organs.
Stomach.
Spleen, appendix.
Kidney. Whoa, you gotta mash the shit out of this. I'm not gonna be able to do this.
You died.
Cool.
KO!
I'm dead. Ain't getting up from that. There's your password.
What is that password?
It's the most psycho password I've ever seen. At least it's just numbers. Well, if you're looking for the toughest, most unbeatable boxing game for Famicom, check out World Boxing by Natsume. Maybe you'll have more luck than me.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a hexadecimal password. 1991. This is when they started making the good shit. This is when Shatterhand came out. So, let's see what was out in Japan. Start with Chaos World.
Chaos World, huh? Calling out from Chaos.
Oswo. Asswhirl.
Ha World.
That was cool.
He wiggling.
Password looks like a website that doesn't load a custom font. It kind of does.
Okay.
Already showing off their parallax abilities. These guys weren't afraid to show off what they had. Whoa! Arpeggios?
I like this.
Can they do that? They're not European.
I'm all in on Chaos World. I don't care what this game is. I'm already all in.
Dude, we got arpeggios. We got the desert chrome effect on the title screen. This game might be awesome. So you know what was big for the Famicom? RPGs.
RPGs were big, yeah.
And this is Natsume's RPG. You can play as a boy or a girl, and that determines what kind of jobs you can pick up in this game. Because you do different occupations to earn money and experience and stuff. And if you're like the male character, you can become a woodsman or something. And if you're the girl character, you have to be like a waitress.
Aw, man! I want to be a woodsman.
So it's not just a typical Dragon Quest style game. They got some different stuff going on under the hood. Also looks really good. Like touches like these, the way the text box pops up and then hides itself. That's something you don't really think about, but just Natsume has that presentation quality that you come to expect. I've never played much of this. Let's see how far I can get. I wonder if I can get outside the first village. Just kind of assuming that you need to talk to the king.
I mean, it's an RPG. You kind of have to talk to the king.
Oh, again, if you're just joining us, a lot of the stuff I'm saying comes from Famidaily, a series on YouTube.
Yeah, let me link that again in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and link that.
Yeah.
Big fan of that series. I'm only like 700 episodes in, but pretty sure it's going to be good to the end. People are all like, oh, you got to watch this 4-hour essay. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm going to watch 1,000 episodes of something else.
Okay, I feel the same way about a lot of the... Okay, because I will see something that's like that long, and I'm like, no, I don't believe in that. And then I'll see like this like the 1,000 episode series, and I'm like, gonna watch this.
Oh, spend that same amount of time somewhat differently? Sure, I'm all in. We may not be able to get out of the first village. There's some dudes blocking you. And I assume it's going to do that thing where you have to talk to everyone. Anyone know if this has a fan translation? I may be recalling incorrectly. I think this got a fan translation at some point.
I feel bad, but like, I do watch 4-hour YouTube.
It does have one?
videos.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Oh, make no mistake, I'm not really picky about what I'll watch, but...
Oh yeah, no, me either.
I'll just put whatever shit on.
I don't know, I think I watch trashier stuff than you.
Maybe.
I was watching, do you know those YouTube compilations of, like, public fights and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or, like, people, like, fighting with their neighbors or whatever, and,
Yeah.
like, knocking over their trash
That
cans
makes
and
sense that would exist.
Well, did you know that there's an America's Funniest
You didn't
Home
give me
Video
money.
style show on A&E with, like, clips of people arguing with their neighbors?
No.
Called Neighborhood Wars. I've been watching a lot of that, and it's
Is that like Famicom Wars?
I wish I wish, but it features more people with hammers, I think.
That sounds awesome. Well, the king didn't give me any
trash.
freaking money, so I can't buy any items, and whatever flag I need to set to progress the game, I don't know what it is. Apparently there is an English version, though, and I do want to check that out, because this game looks kind of awesome. It's just one of those things where you have to devote some time to it. Seems to be pretty well regarded, though, and the cartridge nowadays is very expensive, so I can only assume that means it's good, because only good games are expensive. That's not true. Please don't take that at my word. Next up in 1991, let's play something a little more accessible, something I would have maybe more expected to see from Natsume's Japanese library. This is Chojin Sentai Jetman.
Based on a real Sentai series?
Yep.
Okay.
This is based on Super Sentai, and in fact is the first game ever to be based on a Super Sentai series. Super Sentai is like, it's just like Tokusatsu, where there's like 5 teenagers who are all color-coded.
Yeah.
Power Rangers and so
I was
on.
gonna say Power Rangers, but that's not fair. Well, is that the Sentai Pride flag?
Yeah, it is. Happy Pride to all Sentai.
Hey, I want to be allied with the big people in mechas. I'm sorry.
Look at this fucking pixel art. Did no one tell them that, like, for a Sentai game, you can just kind of half-ass it and people will buy it anyway? I don't think they got the message. Great Icarus. This is already looking familiar from the other Natsume games we've played.
Hey, yeah. This reminds me of something.
And you got a bunch of Power Rangers to pick from, and they all kind of play differently, actually. Some of them use guns, some of them use a sword. Which one should I be?
Red. That's a classic.
Okay, can't go wrong with red.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with the colors they have, I think this is just US Power Rangers, what they adapted. So I played this, and I'm like, finally, this is what I was expecting. A game where you walk to the right and punch dudes. Or, you know, sword them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not into the weird history shit, the Bizarro adventure games, the Mahjong games or whatever, I think it's still worth looking through developer libraries for games like this, that you already know what you like, and it's just stuff you hadn't seen because it didn't get released over here. This game is kind of great. I don't think it stands up to something like, say, Shatterhand, but especially for a Power Rangers-based license game, this is crazy good. Just look at all of the games Bandai made in Japan. All that Kinnikuman shit. I appreciate a company who doesn't know how to dial it back in terms of, just for the sake of economics even. Just like, maybe you should put a little less work into these games that everyone's gonna buy anyway. But no, they're all like, well, kids are gonna play this, and maybe we should make a game that kids can enjoy.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the putties. Is this? I don't know.
It's literally just Power Rangers, yeah.
Okay.
Now check this out. Look at that dude.
That guy's cool.
He's too big. So you know what the Power Rangers gotta do.
Get big.
It's morphin' time. Megazord.
Power.
Mastodon.
Source.
Pterodactyl. Saber-tooth tiger. Yeah, it's Morbin time.
Morbin.
Refrigerator Man.
True, we are at the level where we could have just hit the robot in the knees and really, like, got it there, but...
No, it's more fun to transform. Look at this shit. I think it's really cool that they have these big sprites in the game, because it's in the show, that you just kind of expect it.
Yeah.
But also it's the Famicom, and they can only do so much to push these sprites around the screen, so it's a little bit stilted. In a way, it kind of looks like the show does. Just these big guys in awkward suits, just kind of doing their best out there. And I find that kind of charming. The only thing missing is like a rock quarry background.
Yeah, God. You know, there's a rock quarry in Austin. We should just start having fights there.
Do you think they'd let us?
I don't know, maybe. Not much else going on.
Did they just come to expect it? Like, some more dudes in suits having fights.
Oh, more Toku fans. Okay. Yep, and there's the guy in the Godzilla suit just running down the road. That's fine. Not like we had to quarry some rocks here today.
Normal day, normal life.
Not like the city needs limestone or anything, guys.
I bet that was a problem back when Power Rangers was big. Kids wanting to go down to the rock quarry and cause a ruckus.
I don't know. I played Power Rangers with my friends when I was a kid. We never went to any rock quarries or any, like, abandoned houses or anything.
That's good. I'm glad you didn't.
No, I don't think our parents would have I wasn't near one, and I don't think our parents would have taken us to a rock quarry.
Mom, can we go fight at the rock quarry?
Well, I was gonna say the other rock quarry I know of is the rock quarry that San Antonio, Texas is in. So we can,
Ooh.
yeah, we can ride a roller coaster and then film ourselves beating up the putties.
Yeah, we can have a nice brawl there.
You know what? It's Six Flags. I bet they're prepared for brawls there. They got that. No offense to Six Flags. It's just fights happen there a lot. Don't worry, they happen in other theme parks too. I saw a family really going at it at Epcot from one video, and I was just like, oh man, this is like Waffle House.
They got the whole family into
Yeah, the whole family!
Only in America can you involve the whole family in your theme park brawl.
Hey, it's the whole family's involved at Disney, you know?
It's technically a bonding experience.
I did see one video where this guy was just like, I don't know, from Disney World, where this guy was like, I don't know, this other guy just started randomly beating me up, and then the cop talked to the Disney employee, because his body cam footage in the Disney employee was like, hey, no, yeah, that guy was extremely bigoted into someone's face, and he got punched. Please remove him.
Good.
Yeah, basically, he was a huge bigot, and he got punched.
Yeah, you're making a core memory there by having fights with other families. I guess my main takeaway from this game is it gives you what you want. If you've seen the show, it'll give you what you expect. You can be the Megazord and the Power Rangers. It's got transformation sequences. You can fight big-ass monsters. That's Natsume, and they did it their way, so it's actually fun and good. Instead of a shit show like it usually is. Let me try and beat this guy and then we'll move on. I'm no good at these scenes. I know you have like an extra power meter that you can use by pushing start, like that, but it doesn't do much.
Oh, that guy's a camera!
Yeah.
He's taking photos of you, rude!
A literal cameraman. Sorry.
No! I don't have the right to say that.
I'm invoking Jester's privilege.
Yeah, you are.
I'm really bad at that game for children. So, 1991. Let's continue on with our next game. I don't know if y'all are gonna like this. What if there was a Mahjong RPG? What if it was called Dora Dora Dora? It's Technostasy.
Okay.
Dora cubed. So you got a normal mode, of course. Oh, let's see the intro. But the thing that separates this from the other Mahjong games is they turned it into a freaking RPG. They finally did it. They made a Mahjong RPG.
Okay.
I want to see someone do like a Musou Mahjong game. Just completely fuck me up.
I would love to see a Mahjong parlor where everyone's got swords.
Oh yeah, there's 3 different scenarios you can pick from. One is just like traditional fantasy characters. I forget what the second one is, but the third one, you get to be animals.
Okay, a good game.
And you're
mind.
fighting to become king of the jungle. And the third one's an octopus for some reason.
I don't know, octopus are pretty smart.
You gonna go with lion or elephant? I hear the octopus
I
is
think lion.
the octopus is apparently at a big disadvantage for some reason. And this here is the Natsume difference. Anyone else would be like, RPG with Mahjong. There you go. Develop it in a week, crap it out, we'll make money. But Natsume is all like, what if we made a scenario where it's about a bunch of animals?
This seems very involved.
Oh, random battle. I think we can take this guy.
Oh, it really is a Mahjong RPG.
Yeah, the random encounters are Mahjong matches. Eventually you get to spaces where there's bosses, and you have to level up to beat those guys. And their hit points are reflected in how much money they have. So this guy doesn't have many points. Can I win a Mahjong match on stream?
Can you?
This hand's pretty good. Actually, it's not that good.
Sorry, honey.
Well, we'll try to make it work. Well? I don't think I can reach just yet. If I had a good run of the numbers tiles, we'd be able to make something out of this. Oh, close. Give me like a 3? I guess I could reach now and just hope for a number 3. That would be a really bad idea, so let's do it. Yeah, give me that 3.
3.
Let's see a 3. That's not a 3. That's not a 3. I don't think this was a very good plan.
The 3 plan not paying out for you? Is that music good?
Sounds pretty tense. That guy needs 2 different tiles. What a bad idea, even for an elephant playing Mahjong.
Yeah.
Elephants suck at Mahjong. Never play with one.
Okay, I will not be playing Mahjong with an elephant in the future.
That guy right there, that guy just became king of the jungle.
Good for
Congratulations
him.
to that guy. Was that like a dodo bird?
It's like a duck.
A Mahjong RPG exists on Famicom, and it's called Dora 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 if you want to play it. I might want to play more of it. I'm kind of a sicko. The end of 91. Last game they released that year was Palamedes 2.
Oh, a sequel.
Yeah, this one never got released in the US. I'm the king of the dodos. I'm always saying this. Hang on. Hang on. Hold the freaking phone. Quest? Quest?
Okay.
They can't keep getting away with this. Is this another RPG? Ooh, pretty.
Cool bear.
What are you? A bear, I guess. Whoa, this is totally different. I've never played this game before, by the way. Okay, so they narrowed the playing field a little bit, but it still has the same rules, apparently. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that still works.
Nice.
Weird, so they simplified it a little bit. I guess that works. What are you doing? Okay, we're still in there.
Okay, you're good.
Oh, 4 of a kind, let's go. Oh, you have to pick ones on a single line. You can't pick the ones behind them. Or can you? Dude, they changed this a lot.
You sure did.
I'm only familiar with
You
Palamedes
got
1.
smushed.
I suck at this.
Thank you, Sneaker Nets, for gifting a cup to Big Bear's Cave. Welcome to the Sub Club, Big Bear.
Yeah, enjoy the cup. I don't know what Alex meant by that.
Enjoy the cup?
Yeah,
Did I?
thanks for the cup.
Oh, did I say cup instead of sub?
Yeah. You couldn't get into this? Yeah, this seems a little different from what I'm used to with Palamedes. It seems less complex and also more complex at the same time, if that makes any
We
sense.
should be like Six Flags and just and sell like cups with free refills.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Well, places now are charging for refills.
Yeah.
That's how we know America has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Free refills are an American right.
They are.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. What was it, like McDonald's who was doing that?
I think so.
It's fucking corn syrup, dude.
I know.
What's
right?
wrong with you? It's pure profit. Well, capitalism can go eat itself for all I care. I'm here
Yeah.
playing Palamedes, a game that I clearly don't understand. It's not even letting me keep these. Help. I'm so bad at game.
We should do our own version of McDonald's Monopoly. You mean we should like cheat? That'd be cool.
Yeah, let's sell off all the winning pieces to like one guy in Florida.
All right, who wants to win the contest?
Folks, we're at the end. It's the end of the Famicom's lifespan, or at least the end of Natsume supporting the Famicom here in 1992. Just got a couple of games left. Let's start off with Tokon Club.
Tokon Club. Don't know why I said it like that.
Jalico's back, baby!
Okay, I like them.
What kind of game do you think this is?
With Jalico, I'm going to assume this is an adventure game.
Good guess. It's
Oh,
a wrestling
I was
game.
completely wrong. I was not even in the right realm.
This is the Jalico Pro Wrestling Association, and apparently this is one of the best wrestling games on the Famicom. I'll go ahead and play it.
Okay. Wow, look at them.
Great Shohei is this
That's
guy.
Smokey. I at the bottom, that's Abdullah the Butcher. Yeah, there's Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, that's totally Hulk Hogan. How about that?
One of the Road Warriors, that guy. Okay.
I will be this guy.
Okay.
Let's kick some ass.
Get his ass.
Now for Famicom, not much in the way of great wrestling games. I almost lost there. You got the NES Pro Wrestling developed by Nintendo. And that's it. There was a bunch of LJN developed WrestleMania games with WWF. What's a good wrestling game for NES? Anyone know? I can't think of any.
This, apparently.
Yeah, this.
I love the rotation.
Yeah, look at that rotation. That's so cool. It doesn't really do anything or make much sense, but it's nice. I like that you get big hands and feet when you kick dudes or punch them. They call me Bigfoot. Tecmo Wrestling. The FCI WCW game. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did do a WCW game. I guess the US had better wrestling games than Japan did, which is a hell of a thing. At least for Famicom. Does Battletoads count? Yeah, sure. I've got meter. Don't kill me.
No.
I didn't want to do that.
No.
How do I do the cool thing?
You're heating up.
Oh, there we go. We're both at our limit. Our stamina's out. We're just white knuckle brawling. Who's gonna knock who out? Will we just get so tired we both go to bed?
I would like a wrestling match where people just fall asleep in the ring. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, go to bed match. Like a ladder match.
First person to fall asleep wins.
The enforced bedtime match. I think we got a new niche.
All right, get ready for sleepy wrestling.
It's Sleepy Sundays here on WWF. Or what do they call it now? WWE.
Yeah. No, they call it AEW now.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. And one last game in 1992, which I think really ties the whole thing together and brings things full circle. Good thing the stream's ending. I forgot how to talk. It's Mitsume ga Toru. Now you see a title like this and you think, wow, such an exotic title. What does it mean? It means the dude with 3 eyes. I think this is based on a manga or an anime or something. And this game...
it's this guy!
And this game is fucking amazing! This is the kind of thing I was hoping to find looking through the Natsume library. A nice side-scroller with really good graphics. Some nice visual effects.
Why are you being chased by nude trolls?
Those are just troll dolls.
And they're nude.
And they're... Well, yeah.
I guess they're famously nude. I don't like how in the Trolls movies they retcon troll nudity. They're all clothed now. Universal is a bunch of...
Is that true?
Yeah, like if you watch the Trolls movies, like a lot of them wear clothing. They're not all nude. There's a few that are nude, but a lot of them are not. It's very upsetting as a Trolls fan to see this IP being watered down to wear
Not
things
the puppy.
like clothing. Is that cat? Dog? Dog. That's dog.
That's dog.
I was gonna say there's one of the trolls who's nude. I know that one because I think that's the one that has the costume Universal with the glitter tank attached to his ass, so that he does like a glitter fart.
Is that the thing?
Yeah, I actually saw recent footage of the character, and I didn't see him doing the glitter fart, so they may have stopped doing that.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they had a gasket system with a bunch of glitter on it that would come out of a hole at this guy's butt. And
Technology is wonderful.
it was really interesting. It was mostly like, that's interesting mechanics, but also it's interesting mechanics being used to make a costume character fart gold.
Incredible. And yeah, as Codeman mentions, you may have seen this on a bootleg or pirate card,
Oh.
where the character either is himself or has been hacked to be Pikachu or something. I want to say the pirate multicarts are probably like the easiest way you can find this game, because apparently nowadays it's extremely rare and hard to find. Over $100 just for the cartridge. Which is a shame, because this game is great. This actually rules. It's got so much charm and personality.
Oh, there's a shop girl.
It's basically a summary of everything that makes a Natsume game great. It's just this one never got released in the US. I think they should have just turned him into a guy in a tank top with sunglasses. Then it would have sold over here. Maybe replace the puppies with like rabid dogs or something. I don't know, just spitballing here.
I would like a game with rabid dogs. I feel like dogs in games have been getting it too good. We need more rabid dogs. We need more bad dog representation.
Yeah, let's start the bad dog genre.
Okay.
One cool thing about this game is this: if you hold B, you get to bring out your sword. And if you can jump on it, it becomes a platform.
Oh.
Often you'll need to do this to traverse the environment or fight bosses or something. Gives it a nice little something to separate it from all the other platformers out there. This might be the ultimate Natsume platformer. I don't know if I like this one more than Shadow of the Ninja or Shatterhand. Did I say Shatter of the Ninja?
No, I think you said it correctly.
Okay, good.
Don't worry, we're both losing our brain activity here.
Yeah.
Too much Natsume in one go.
I think I covered basically everything I wanted to say, though. So, Alex, what do you think of Natsume's Japanese library?
I think Natsume's Japanese library is way more varied and interesting. And
It's-
also really weird.
Yeah, it's nuts that they tried so many different genres. RPGs, Mahjong games, Power Rangers games. I guess that one's not so weird. But they're more than platformers. And even if you go into researching what kind of games Natsume made outside of the US, I think you'll still find something to like. And if you dig a little deeper and really look at those Mahjong games, and especially Toho Kenbun Roku, there's so much to discover, and it's so much fun to learn all this in real time. Like, I just kept diving deeper and deeper into Toho Kenbun Roku, and I was like, surely this cannot be real. And I found out about the prototype, and my brain broke. Like, what the hell?
So would you say in conclusion, researching developers and stuff is worth it?
That is what I'm trying to say, yeah. Do it.
Do
Download
do
a ROM
research.
set. Research your favorite developers. Look up some of your favorite old games and see who developed it and see what else they made. Like, even if the games aren't for you or they aren't something you'll play for more than a couple minutes, it's still worthwhile, I think.
Oh.
This game sucks, though. It's too hard. Let's get the AVGN on this one. 3 eyes? Why not 2? Isn't 2 enough? That's just a sample. We can workshop it.
Let's let someone else do the AVGN video essay or whatever.
Okay, yeah. I'll let his genius take work.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this.
Run.
Fuck this. I'm out of here. In conclusion, I fucking love Natsume. They started off specifically to make Famicom games, and you can totally tell, because these guys were clearly interested in making good games that played well and were interesting, and even had a little bit of a technical quality to them, too. You can't say they're generic, at the very least. And also, I feel like this is only half the story, because Natsume really turned a corner in the 16-bit era. So, on Friday, we're going to play the Super Nintendo games made by Natsume.
Oh, cool.
That's when things get really crazy, so look forward to that. Gonna cover Japanese exclusives, of course the US releases, and a whole lot more Power Rangers games, because turns out the people who license out Power Rangers, they like it when you make good games about the Power Rangers. So they let them make more, and a lot of them got released in the States even. And that's what we're gonna do. For now, though, that's it. That's Natsume on the NES. What a story. What an incredible story we've been through. I wish I could have been one of those kids who played Toho Kinbun Roku back in the day and became greatly disturbed. It would give you a different worldview. Like every other video game you play after that, you're just going to be wondering, like, is there going to be an exploding head? Is there going to be like a twisted future where everything's all edgy? Like you're always in fear of your games turning evil. At least it would be for me. And that's Natsume on NES. Thank you.
Stuff.
We're done. Thanks to our patrons for voting the way they did. Y'all made a good choice. This was a hell of a story to research and go into, and I hope you enjoyed this look at their NES library. Natsume's good. Even if you stick with the US library, play those games. They just feel good to play. I enjoy those feel-good playing games. We're done. Alex, why don't you wrap us up? I'm going to look for raid target.
Thank you, Nocturne Dustclaw, for the raid. We appreciate that. We're wrapping up here. We also have a Patreon, folks. If you'd like to support us directly, $5 a month gets you access to our weekly polls. This week, you let us play good games. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. I appreciate that. I like being able to play good games sometimes. So thank you for that. And thank you all so very much for your support. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/retropals. We post full-length highlights of our streams there. Do check us out there for if you want to check out VODs in a more easier to digest format. But yeah, we're on YouTube as well. We also have a Discord. Let me just drop that link in the chat. You can join us there to discuss cats, to discuss video games, and any other things you would like. We also are on social media. We're on Co-Host and Blue Sky. Let me just drop those links into the chat. Co-host.org/retropals and the Blue Sky link. You can join us there to find out when we go live, when we've got new videos up on YouTube, and all the Retro Pals news you can use.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Give us a follow, why don't you?
Yeah.
Another person you should give a follow is Swell Time G-Pool, because I'm going to be on their stream tomorrow playing co-op Sega Genesis games.
Oh, nice.
I've already talked them into playing some Berenstain Bears, so it's going to be a good one, I think. Mm-hmm. We're going to focus on games that they've never seen before, so we're just going to test a whole bunch of stuff out and just have a good old time playing some two-player Sega Genesis games. Going to leave you with Ren M, someone else I recently collaborated with. We did a virtual hide-glide race, which I won. I'm not too proud of it, but actually, maybe I should be.
You should.
I like virtual highlight. It's so much fun. Rin's doing a project where she plays through every single PlayStation game in chronological order. It looks like she's doing 1996, and this looks like... Is this loaded or reloaded? This is one of those games, those crazy, gory, overhead view action games. So enjoy that. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
See ya, folks.